Have you ever wondered why you start something with so much energy, so much excitement, but after a few days or weeks, the fire fades away? Why is it that motivation feels so powerful at the start, yet disappears when you need it the most? Think about it. How many times have you told yourself, tomorrow I'll wake up early, I'll work out, I'll study, I'll change my life, only for tomorrow to come, and nothing changes? The truth is, motivation is not enough. Motivation is a spark, but discipline, that's the fire that keeps burning when the spark dies out. Discipline is the invisible bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Without it, dreams collapse under the weight of excuses. With it, you become unstoppable. That's why this journey is not about waiting to feel ready. It's about mastering discipline step by step until it becomes who you are. Imagine this: in just 60 days, you could rewire your habits, rebuild your mindset, and take control of your future. 60 days may sound like a short time, but it's long enough to create a version of you that no longer gives up, no longer hides behind, "I don't feel like it," no longer waits for motivation to show up. Psychology tells us that every action you repeat trains your brain. Every choice you make either strengthens your excuses or strengthens your will. When you skip a workout, when you delay that project, your brain learns weakness. But when you follow through even when it's hard, your brain learns power. This is why discipline matters more than anything else. Motivation is an emotion, but discipline is a decision. Motivation whispers, "Do it when you feel like it." Discipline commands, "Do it because you said you would." So let me ask you, what if for the next 60 days you stopped relying on feelings and started relying on discipline? What if you became the kind of person who doesn't break promises to themselves? How would your life look different? The next 60 days could transform your confidence, your health, your career, and your sense of self. But only if you're willing to choose discipline over comfort. Think about the people you admire most. Do you think they rely on motivation every day? No. They are not always inspired, not always excited. They simply refuse to negotiate with themselves. They understand the simple truth: feelings are temporary, but discipline builds identity. Every disciplined action is a vote for the person you want to become. Every time you push through resistance, you tell your brain, "This is who I am now, Bao." And over time, those small decisions accumulate into unshakable strength. Here's the good news. You don't need to be extraordinary to build discipline. You don't need endless willpower or superhuman energy. You just need to make one small choice again and again and again until it becomes automatic. 60 days of focus can create habits that will last for years. That's the science of consistency. That's the psychology of change. And here's the reward I want to offer you. If you stay with me until the end of this journey, you will not only learn the practical steps to master discipline, but you'll also discover the secret to lasting change. The kind of change that doesn't fade after a week or after the hype is gone. You'll learn how to silence the excuses, how to defeat procrastination, and how to finally become the person you've always wanted to be. So let this be your moment. Not another video you watch and forget, not another promise you break. This is the start of your 60-day transformation. Stay until the end, because the tools you'll hear could be the difference between living a life of regret or living a life of power, control, and freedom. Discipline begins with one simple truth: you cannot control how you feel every day, but you can always control what you do. The biggest mistake most people make is waiting for the perfect mood or the perfect moment. They think, "When I feel ready, I'll begin." But that day rarely comes. The secret is to stop negotiating with your emotions and start honoring your commitments. Feelings are temporary, but your choices create lasting results. Think about it. Every time you choose discipline over distraction, you send a powerful signal to your brain: "I am in control." And the brain remembers. Psychology calls this self-identity reinforcement. Each action you repeat becomes evidence of who you are. Skip one workout, and your brain records, "I am someone who quits." Push through and finish it, and your brain records, "I am someone who follows through." Over time, these choices stack up. They shape your identity, your confidence, and your destiny. This is why the first step in mastering discipline is consistency, not intensity. You don't need to start with massive changes. In fact, trying to do too much too soon often leads to burnout. Instead, start with small, unshakable commitments. Wake up at the same time every day. Commit to just 10 minutes of focused work. Read 2 pages of a book. These may look small, but they are powerful. They are building blocks of discipline, and once in place, they make larger victories possible. Remember this: discipline is not about being perfect. It's about refusing to quit when it gets uncomfortable. It's about keeping promises to yourself when no one else is watching. Each small win you stack is a brick laid in the foundation of an unshakable life. Once you begin stacking small wins, something remarkable happens. Your mind starts to shift. What once felt impossible now begins to feel natural. This is the psychology of momentum. Every action you repeat makes the next action easier because your brain craves consistency. It doesn't want to live in conflict. If you see yourself as disciplined, your mind will fight to keep that identity alive. But here's the challenge. Momentum can work for or against you. If you give in to excuses, if you allow yourself to skip just this once, you start a new chain. And the brain records it too. That's why you must treat every decision like it matters, because it does. Every choice is a vote for the person you want to become. So how do you guard your momentum? By creating systems that protect your discipline. Willpower alone is never enough. Even the strongest people run out of it. That's why you must set rules for yourself, rules that remove unnecessary decisions. For example, don't check my phone until my work is done. Or I never go to bed before preparing for tomorrow. These rules are not restrictions. They are freedoms. They free you from the endless tug of war of indecision. Think about this: freedom without discipline is chaos. But discipline creates true freedom. When you choose discipline, you're not limiting your life. You're unlocking it. You're breaking free from the chains of laziness, distraction, and regret. Every time you protect your momentum, you take another step toward mastery. The stronger your systems, the harder it becomes for failure to pull you back. Discipline then is not just a choice. It is a lifestyle that leads to power, progress, and peace of mind. The truth is, discipline is not built in comfort. It is forged in discomfort, in the moments when everything inside you screams to stop, but you choose to keep moving. Psychology calls this delayed gratification, the ability to resist short-term pleasure for long-term gain. It is one of the most powerful predictors of success in every area of life. Those who master it rise, while those who give in remain stuck. Think of the times you've pushed yourself beyond your limits. Maybe it was finishing a task when you were exhausted, or sticking to a promise when temptation was strong. Those moments weren't easy, but they were defining. They taught you that pain is temporary, but growth lasts forever. Discipline requires you to reframe discomfort, not as something to avoid, but as proof that you're on the right path. The presence of struggle means progress is being made. This is where most people fail. They believe the discomfort is a sign to quit, when in reality it is the sign to continue. The mind looks for safety, but greatness is never found in safety. Every time you embrace discomfort, you strengthen your resilience. You prove to yourself you are stronger than your excuses, stronger than your doubts, stronger than the voice that tells you to stop. Remember this, that the pain of discipline is always lighter than the pain of regret. Discipline may cost you effort, energy, and comfort today, but regret will cost you your future. Every time you choose discipline, you are buying freedom, confidence, and power that no one can take from you. With every choice, you are sculpting a version of yourself that you'll be proud to face in the mirror. To master discipline, you must first master your environment. Human behavior is not just shaped by willpower. It is shaped by surroundings. If you live in a space full of distractions, your discipline will always be under attack. But if you design your environment to support your goals, success becomes natural. Think about this. The brain takes the path of least resistance. If your phone is within reach, you'll check it. If junk food is in your kitchen, you'll eat it. This is not weakness, it's human psychology. The key is to remove temptation before it tempts you. Set up your space so that the right choice is the easy choice. Keep your tools for growth visible and your distractions out of sight. But it's not just about your physical environment. Your social environment matters even more. The people around you can either fuel your discipline or drain it. Spend time with those who hold themselves to higher standards, and you'll naturally rise. Spend time with those who make excuses, and you'll start making excuses too. We become reflections of the voices we hear daily. Choose those voices wisely. Remember, discipline is contagious. When you surround yourself with disciplined people, their habits rub off on you. Their energy pulls you forward. Their example reminds you of who you want to be. That is why environment is not a detail. It is a foundation. Mastering discipline is not about forcing yourself to be strong every second. It's about creating conditions where strength is the natural outcome. Shape your environment, shape your circle, and you will shape your destiny. Because when the world around you supports your growth, your discipline becomes unstoppable. There is another truth about discipline that few talk about. It is less about what you do once and more about what you repeat daily. Discipline is not an event, it is a rhythm. The strongest people in the world don't rely on occasional bursts of effort. They build habits so solid that they carry them forward, even when motivation is gone. Habits are the invisible architecture of your life. They determine whether you rise or whether you stay stuck. Each habit, no matter how small, is like a seed planted in your mind. Over time, it grows roots, then branches, then fruit. But the seed you plant is up to you. Plant the habit of procrastination, and you will harvest regret. Plant the habit of discipline, and you will harvest freedom. This is why discipline is less about dramatic effort and more about quiet consistency. It's about showing up even when you don't feel like it. It's about choosing action over delay, one day at a time, till the choice becomes automatic. And once it becomes automatic, it becomes part of who you are. The beauty of habits is that they multiply. One strong habit leads to another. Wake up early and you create time for focus. Exercise daily and you build energy for productivity. Read every day and you expand your thinking. These small disciplines stack together, creating a life that feels unstoppable. Never underestimate the power of repetition. What you do daily is stronger than what you do occasionally. The habits you live by today are the prophecy of your tomorrow. If you want to change your life, don't wait for a miracle. Build habits that make miracles inevitable. That is the quiet power of discipline, but even with strong habits, discipline will be tested. There will be days when fatigue creeps in, when doubts whisper louder than your purpose, when setbacks shake your confidence. This is where most people surrender. They confuse a stumble with a failure. But here's the truth: setbacks are not the end of discipline. They are part of it. Resilience is the backbone of discipline. Without resilience, every obstacle feels like a wall. With resilience, every obstacle becomes a stepping stone. Psychology teaches us that resilience is built not by avoiding struggle, but by facing it and rising again. Each time you fall and get back up, your mind learns a powerful lesson: I can endure, I can continue. I am stronger than I thought. Failure only defines you if you let it stop you. But if you use it as feedback, it becomes fuel. Discipline is not about never falling. It is about refusing to stay down. Every comeback strengthens your belief. Every rise deepens your identity as someone who persists no matter what. And here's the key. This is not about speed. It is about direction. You may move slowly, but if you keep moving forward, you are still winning. The world is filled with people who gave up too soon, who let a moment of weakness erase years of effort. Don't let that be you. When challenges appear, remind yourself, this is the test that will prove my strength. This is the fire that will shape my character. Discipline is not forged in easy days. It is built in the storm. And if you keep rising, no storm can break you. The final stage of discipline is transformation. The point where discipline is no longer a burden, but a part of your identity. What once felt forced now feels natural. What once required effort now feels effortless. This is the power of integration. Discipline becomes who you are, not just what you do. At this stage, your life takes on a new rhythm. You no longer chase short-term comfort because you've tasted the strength of long-term growth. You no longer waste energy fighting battles with yourself because your choices align with your vision. The noise of excuses grows quiet and the voice of clarity grows louder. This is the freedom discipline gives. It frees you from the chaos of inconsistency and replaces it with the confidence of mastery. And with this transformation, something else happens people begin to notice. Your actions inspire others. Your consistency becomes a mirror, showing them what's possible. Discipline is not just personal, it's contagious. By mastering yourself, you give others permission to rise higher. You become proof that lasting change is possible. But never forget, discipline is not a finish line. It's not something you achieve once and leave behind. It is a lifelong companion, a daily practice, a promise you keep with yourself over and over again. The beauty of discipline is that it grows with you. As your vision expands, your discipline adapts, carrying you to levels you never imagined. This is what makes discipline powerful. It is not just about building routines. It is about building a life that reflects strength, purpose, and resilience, a life that proves you are not controlled by circumstances, you are defined by your choices. That is the ultimate reward of mastering discipline. Discipline is not just about what you do, it's about who you become. It's the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. And if you've stayed with me until now, it shows one thing clearly: deep down, you're ready. You're ready to stop letting excuses decide your future. You're ready to take control. You're ready to rise. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just let these words inspire you for a moment. Let them move you into action. Start today. Make the decision that tomorrow will not be wasted. Build the habits, shape the environment, embrace the discomfort, and prove to yourself that you are stronger than you've ever believed. And remember this, discipline is not punishment. Discipline is freedom. It is the key to unlocking your best life, your best self, and your best future. Now, I want to hear from you. What is the one area of your life where you will practice discipline starting today? Share it in the comments. Let this be your first commitment. If this message gave you strength, make sure you subscribe to Motivation Vault, because this is just the beginning. Together we'll keep building, keep growing, and keep turning discipline into destiny. Your life can change in 60 days. The only question is, will you take the first step?